Uh-oh.
Way back Wednesday? Wait.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mystic Journeys with HB, Nerdy, and Derek.
Yo,
How are you guys doing today?
doing pretty
We're getting
good.
into our third agreement here on Four Agreement Friday, so moving right along. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you guys are reading in the book, it's page
63.
63.
So it is the third
Um,
agreement, but it is chapter 4. Just a heads up for
correct.
anybody out there getting confused.
Correct. I was super confused before the show about that. Yeah.
It's an
Um,
honest mistake. It is
but
confusing.
we're gonna go ahead and just read through the whole thing. What do you think, Nerdy?
I think we should cover the whole thing. It's a short chapter. It's only 10 pages, but if you take away the lack of text on the first page and the lack of text on the last page, it's basically 9 pages. And it's got a lot more to do with relationships. So I think it's going to be relevant for Valentine's Day. I think this timed out perfectly.
Perfect. And normally our readings go for about 5 minutes, so it'd be about double that, maybe a little more.
Usually only do about 5 pages, I think.
Yep. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll go ahead and get right into it. Thank you guys.
All right, I'm going to say one more hello.
Cool. Derek, you doing okay today, buddy? How's those candles turning out, by the way?
How was what?
How are your
The
candles?
candles.
Oh, they smell wicked good. Yeah, I'm working on some
Really?
candles. I did that earlier. I'm calling them Mystic Men, so it's pretty exciting.
Okay, sweet.
It's a manly scent. A lot of the candles you buy in the store, they're kind of floral and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. But these have cologne, patchouli, and vanilla in them, and I'm kind of tweaking the recipe. And I'm gonna
Okay.
get some in some molds. So if anybody has any of the infuser or diffuser, like I have a little light and it's got the little glass thing, and I just throw the wax on there and it melts and makes it smell good. So yeah, Nerdy might have one behind you, right?
I do not have a diffuser,
Okay. I have a
but
couple different ones, but those are really neat.
this whole candle thing is making me think of Mike and Kim because they've been doing candles since probably the last 2 years at least. I think they had brought candles to the last 2 Rocky Mountain Mush Fests. And I want to show you one of them that they made that I absolutely love. I'm gonna have to go get it, but I'll be right back.
No worries, man. Take your time. We'll wait on
You
you.
got to
Guys.
find this mold. You got to ask Mike and Kim where they got it from because it is perfect for these candles.
Okay. Very
So yeah, you guys, we're reading out of the Four Agreements video. If by chance we have any new viewers here, there's a book called The Four Agreements. It's kind of what we base our whole philosophy on here at Mr. Journey's Church. Now we're just now getting into our third agreement. Don't take things personally. So as soon as Nerdy gets back to show us can, we'll get into the reading. We're gonna read through the whole chapter today.
No.
It's kind of a short chapter, quick read. Well, thank you guys so much for being here. If you don't mind, just hit the like button. That's the one thing we ask of you guys.
the price of admission.
Just hit the like button if you don't mind. That's all it is. We don't ask much.
My path of destruction. I don't know where my things are falling to, but that's okay. Oh, so I got several candles here that I've collected from Mike and Kim.
Awesome.
You know how much I love rubber duckies.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Very cool.
that is too
love
cool.
this one. But they sent me this one when they're one of their most recent packages. Just
Piece of corn.
cob. Yeah,
Corn?
just a piece of corn. But so these last 3 are probably some of my favorites that I've gotten from them. I got this one from the last Rocky Mountain Mush Fest. It's a little astronaut sitting on a moon.
Okay, sweet.
Love that one. But these ones seem quite appropriate for the Mystics. Got a little mushroom house.
What? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this one was one of their first attempts. I think I got this the first year. And then this.
I'm sure you could do them in different colors too, like the bottom of different colors than the top.
There you go.
Very cool.
There you go. But
It's a candle though. Oh my gosh, that's so freaking cool.
Love this. So it's a little amanita mushroom. Could you imagine having your scent on a candle like this?
That'd be very cool. Very, very mystic.
Mm-hmm. I like it a
just
lot.
went with white tins. I feel safe with the tin because a lot of people do glass candles, and I'm always worried about that thing can crack, and then you end up with a fire. But with the tin, it's a little safer. And I got them the wood crackling wicks.
That
So
sounds.
I'm excited. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Sounds really cool.
Exactly what you mean with those tins. Those are smart. They're safe.
Yeah.
And when you're done with it, you can turn it into a little camp stove.
There you go. Yeah.
You
little rum
absolutely
alcohol.
just put some little holes in the lid, and then make a little
Or a
divot
tin
at
to
the
keep
top.
your things like your fingernail clips and spare
I-
chains and stuff in.
I did it last summer. I converted one of those tins to a camp stove, and it worked great. Just use some denatured alcohol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Ultralight stove. Yep.
Anyway, let's get started with the 4 agreements.
Go ahead and get into it. Thank you guys for being here.
That was a fun little convo before we
David.
started here.
Joe, Mr. Phillips. Cheers, everyone. Thank you all guys for being here.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Exactly.
We're starting off on page 63.
Yep,
The
63.
first of chapter 4, the third agreement.
All right. So, chapter 4, the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. We have the tendency to make assumptions about everything. The problem with making assumptions is that we believe they are the truth. We could swear they are real. We make assumptions about what others are doing or thinking. We take it personally. Then we blame them and react by sending emotional poison with our word. That is why whenever we make assumptions, we're asking for problems. We make an assumption, we misunderstand, we take it personally, and we end up creating a whole big drama for nothing. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. Take a moment to consider the truth of this statement. I'll read that again. All the sadness and drama you have lived in your life was rooted in making assumptions and taking things personally. The whole war of control between humans is about making assumptions and taking things personally. Our whole dream of hell is based on that. We create a lot of emotional poison just by making assumptions and taking it personally. Because usually we start gossiping about our assumptions. Remember, gossiping is the way we communicate to each other in the dream of hell to transfer poison to one another. Because we are afraid to ask for clarification, we make assumptions and believe we are right about the assumptions. Then we defend our assumptions and try to make someone else wrong. It is always better to ask questions than to make an assumption, because assumptions set us up for suffering. The big mitote in the human mind creates a lot of chaos, which causes us to misinterpret everything and misunderstand everything. We only see what we want to see and hear what we want to hear. We don't perceive things the way they are. We have the habit of dreaming with no basis in reality. We literally dream things up in our imagination. Because we don't understand something, we make an assumption about the meaning. And when the truth comes out, the bubble of our dream pops and we found out it was not what we thought. It was not what we thought it was at all. An example, you are walking in the mall and you see a person you like. That person turns to you and smiles and then walks away. You can make a lot of assumptions just because of this one experience. With these assumptions, you can create a whole fantasy, and you really want to believe this fantasy and make it real. The whole dream begins to form from your assumptions. And you can believe, oh, this person really likes me. In your mind, a whole relationship begins to form that maybe you even get married in this fantasy land. But the fantasy is in your mind, in your personal dream. Making assumptions in your relationships is really asking for problems. Often, we make the assumption that our partners know what we think and that we don't have to say what we want. We assume that they are going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we assume they should do, we feel so hurt and say, "You should have known." For example, You decide to get married and you make the assumption that your partner sees marriage the same way you do. Then you live together and you find out this is not true. This creates a lot of conflict, but you still don't try to clarify your feelings about marriage. The husband comes home from work and the wife is mad, and the husband doesn't know why. Maybe it's because the wife made an assumption. Without telling him what she wants, she makes an assumption that he knows her so well, that he knows what she wants, as if he can read her mind. She gets so upset because he fails to meet her expectations. Making assumptions in relationships leads to a lot of fights, a lot of difficulties, a lot of misunderstandings with people we supposedly love. In any kind of relationship, we can make the assumption that others know what we think, and we don't have to say what we want. They are going to do what we want because they know us so well. If they don't do what we want, what we assume they should do, we feel hurt and think, how could you do that? You should know. Again, we make the assumption that the other person knows what we want. A whole drama is created because we make this assumption and then put more assumptions on top of it. It is very interesting how the human mind works. We have the need to justify everything, to explain and understand everything in order to feel safe. We have millions of questions that need answers because there are so many things that the reasoning mind cannot explain. It is not important if the answer is correct, just that the answer makes us feel safe. This is why we make assumptions. If others tell us something, we make assumptions. If they don't tell us something, we make assumptions to fulfill our needs to know and to replace the need to communicate. Even if we hear something and we don't understand, we make assumptions about what it means and then believe the assumptions. We make all sorts of assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask questions. These assumptions are made so fast and unconsciously most of the time because we have agreements to communicate this way. We have agreed that it is not safe to ask questions. We have agreed that if people love us, they should know what we want or how we feel. When we believe something, we assume we are right about it to the point that we will destroy relationships in order to defend our position. We make the assumption that everyone sees life the way we do. We assume that others think the way we think, feel that we the way we feel, judge the way we judge, and abuse the way we abuse. This is the biggest assumption that humans make. And this is why we have a fear of being ourselves around others, because we think everyone will judge us, victimize us, abuse us, and blame us as we do ourselves. So even before others have a chance to reject us, we have already rejected ourselves. That is the way the human mind works. We also make assumptions about ourselves, and this creates a lot of inner conflict. I think I am able to do this. You make this assumption, for instance, then you discover you aren't able to do it. You overestimate or underestimate yourself because you haven't taken the time to ask yourself questions and answer them. Perhaps you need to gather more facts about a particular situation. Or maybe you need to stop lying to yourself about what you truly want. Often, when you go into a relationship with someone you like, you have to justify why you like that person. You only see what you want to see, and you deny there are things you don't like about that person. You lie to yourself just to make yourself right. Then you make assumptions, and one of the assumptions is, my love will change this person. But this is not true. Your love will not change anybody. If others change, it's because they want to change, not because you can change them. Then something happens between the two of you, and you get hurt. Suddenly, you see what you didn't want to see before. Only now it is amplified by your emotional poison. Now you have to justify your emotional pain and blame them for your choices. We don't need to justify love. It is there or not there. Real love is accepting other people the way they are without trying to change them. If we try to change them, This means we don't really like them. Of course, if you decide to live with someone, if you make that agreement, it is always better to make that agreement with someone who is exactly the way you want him or her to be. Find someone whom you don't have to change at all. It is much easier to find someone who is already the way you want him or her to be, instead of trying to change that person. Also, that person must love you just the way you are, so he or she doesn't have to change you at all. If others feel they have to change you, that means they really don't love you just the way you are. So why be with someone if you're not the way he or she wants you to be? We have to be what we are, so we don't have to present a false image. If you love me the way I am, okay, take me. If you don't love me the way I am, okay, bye bye, find someone else. It may sound harsh, but this kind of communication means personal agreements we make with others are clear and impeccable. Just imagine the day you stop making assumptions with your partner and eventually with everyone else in your life. Your way of communication will change completely, and your relationships will no longer suffer from conflicts created by mistaken assumptions. The way to keep yourself from making assumptions is to ask questions. Make sure the communication is clear. If you don't understand, ask. Have the courage to ask questions until you are clear as you can be. And even then, do not assume or know all there is to know about a given situation. Once you hear the answer, you will not have to make assumptions because you will already know the truth. Also, find your voice to ask for what you want. Everybody has the right to tell you no or yes, but you always have the right to ask. Likewise, everybody has the right to ask you, and you have the right to say yes or no. If you don't understand something, it's better for you to ask and be clear instead of making an assumption. The day you stop making assumptions, you will communicate cleanly and clearly, free of emotional pain. Without making assumptions, your word becomes impeccable. With clear communication, all of your relationships will change, not only with your partner, but with everyone else. You won't need to make assumptions because everything becomes so clear. This is what I want. This is what you want. If we communicate in this way, our word becomes impeccable. If all humans could communicate in this way, with impeccability of the word, there would be no wars, no violence, no misunderstandings. All human problems would be resolved if we could just have good, clear communication. This, then, is the third agreement. Don't make assumptions. Just saying this sounds easy, but I understand it is difficult to do. It is difficult because we so often do exactly the opposite. We have all these habits and routines that we are not even aware of. Becoming aware of these habits and understanding the importance of this agreement is the first step. But understanding its importance is not enough. Information or an idea is merely the seed in your mind. What will really make the difference is action. Taking the action over and over again strengthens your will, nurtures the seed, and establishes a solid foundation for a new habit to grow. After many repetitions of these new agreements, will become second nature. And you will see how the magic of your word transforms you from a black magician into a white magician. A white magician uses the word for creation, giving, sharing, and loving. By making this one agreement a habit, your whole life will be completely transformed. When you transform your whole dream, magic just happens in your life. What you need comes to you easily because spirit moves freely through you. This is the mastery of intent, the mastery of the spirit, the mastery of love, the mastery of gratitude, and the mastery of life. This is the goal of the Toltec. This is the path to personal freedom. And that's it for this chapter.
Sweet.
I think that's very awesome that this chapter here falls the day before Valentine's Day, because I mean it fits just so perfectly. It's like the universe abides, you know.
Mhm.
Um, really
I don't
speaks
think
to, the personal relationships we have with our family and wives and everything. And here's a good tip though: if your wife is wrong, don't get mad at her. Just tell her how your mom did it.
Don't take it personally.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
that is the best bad advice I've heard.
Yeah.
The best bad advice.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Uh,
What do you think, though, man?
Well, one thing I highlighted here in my last page as I was reading was taking the action over and over again strengthens your will, nurtures the seed, and establishes a solid foundation for the new habit to grow. Essentially, practice. It's hard. Yes, it's going to be hard. And it's way more hard than it sounds. But the more you practice, the easier it's going to get, just like all of the four agreements. And this will greatly improve your relationships if you take it seriously. And not just you, but people in your life need to understand it and take it seriously too. It
100%.
can't just be one person. Right.
There's a part in here that sticks out to me. If others tell us something, we make assumptions. And if they don't tell us something, we make assumptions to fulfill our need to know and to replace the need to communicate. Even if we hear something we don't understand, we make assumptions about what it might mean, then believe the assumptions. We make all sorts of assumptions because we don't have the courage to ask questions. That's a great point. It's harder to have these tough conversations. Whenever you have difficult conversations, that's what divides us because people end up breaking our four agreements. We take things personally and we make assumptions about what people are saying or thinking. And that's where the communication goes south. Because Derek mentioned this a lot. It's the same thing that happens over text a lot of times. Whenever people are having communication over text, people take it out of context because they're not seeing the person, how they're reacting, their tone of voice or anything. And it's much less whenever we can see the person and hear their tone of voice, we still take it out of context. We still make assumptions about what people are saying and thinking. As I always say, we're never better for not knowing something, to be able to know what somebody else is thinking, their point of view. And, to do that, all you have to do is ask questions. A lot of times people will tell you. And if they don't tell you, they have the right to not answer your questions too. That's their prerogative. I like the idea of there's this guy I follow on Instagram. Maybe you guys have seen him before. Derek Akana. He's like a philosopher. So he talks about this idea that the way to follow your passions in life is to act on your passions and act on them to the highest degree, chase them as far as you can chase them, and do so with no expectations or assumptions about what the outcome is supposed to be of doing that thing. And just like he talked about at the end of the book here, whenever you do that, you start to find that the freedom of your life starts to happen because you're not swimming up the river anymore. Now you're just like kicked back with your legs up, floating down the river. It's the path of least resistance because we spend so much time worrying about the future, thinking about what if, why this, and we're making assumptions about all that stuff we don't even know. It's better just to be stuck in the moment and realize the things that we do know and the things we can't control.
I think the worst assumption we can make though is like thinking we can change someone, like it was saying. You know what I mean? Like you already know how someone is, and you're like, you're in love with an idea of the perfect relationship with that person, but knowing how they are, if it takes all kinds of change to have that relationship, those assumptions, I mean, that's who they are. So you have to love them for who they are, not what you think they'll be. In I
Yep.
can fix this person, and it that causes a lot of problems. You gotta love them for all of it.
But we only see what we want to see and hear what we want to
Sure.
hear. We don't
Sure.
perceive the things as they are. We have the habit of dreaming with no basis in reality. We literally dream things up in our imagination. And we lie to ourselves just as much as we lie to others. Because how could you trust somebody to tell you the truth when they aren't even telling themselves the truth?
100%, dude.
And that goes for you too. That goes both ways.
100%. I posted this today in the chat. There are only two emotions. One is love and the other is fear. Love is our true reality and fear is something our mind has made up and therefore unreal. Peace will win and fear will lose. There are two fundamental views. The world is deeply broken and the world is fundamentally good, and I crave a heart that has both. So yeah, this is not exactly what he's talking about. It's very similar that we have love and fear it creates ignorance, creates misunderstanding because when we have fear, that's why we start making assumptions because again, it's harder to have these tough conversations. So instead of having them, we just make the assumptions. And I'm sure, I'm in the, like, mindset that everything that we do has an evolutionary benefit, but not everything we do we need to carry around with us and use all the time, right? Like anger and hate and greed. These things are like things that like override us so often. We don't need to use them as often as we feel the emotions for them. Making assumptions is one of the same things. Making assumptions can keep us safe. It's the whole idea of like maybe this guy's got a gun in his pocket, and if I make that assumption, maybe it keeps me alive. And somebody could argue, well, I made an assumption and it kept me alive. But we talked about this a lot, that there's a fine line between making an assumption and making an educated guess. So we have to like realize that sometimes that we're not making assumptions, we're making like logical estimations. But if we're making an assumption, then we don't have all the evidence. We don't know all the facts, and yet we usually act on fear because we think that somebody's out to get us, smite us, to connive us, or make fun of us, or steal what we have, or So we put up our red flag, so no one comes in, intervenes with us. It's a defense mechanism, really, right?
And we do judge. We judge all the time, and we're not supposed to judge or whatever. But I mean, even if you're judging out of kindness, you might think that this meme or this story will help a person. Well, you made a judgment, to share that with them. There's a reason that you sent it or whatever. That was a judgment, but just judge up, really, not judge down. Just like that.
100%.
Kick up, don't kick down. If you're gonna share
Yeah.
something with someone, Jared, do it for the better, not criticize.
That's why I always say, if you plan on looking down on somebody, you better be willing to help them up.
Yeah.
That's the only time we should look down on people.
Yep.
Four leaf, cheers. David.
Ronnie Real, how's it going? Thanks for showing. He must be in the other channel,
Cheers.
so I'm not seeing him in the Mystic Journeys here. So Ronnie's here
Okay.
too. I think he's in the HB channel.
Sweet.
So,
I can always
How'd you made
jump
it?
over and check it.
well, I have both feeds coming in together here on Restream, so I can see both coming in at the same time in one chat right here. But then I've also have the separate chat over here, so I can respond as myself as Nerd Nature. So I've got like several chats open at once. I'm just one of those jugglers.
I have a giveaway for 2 spore swabs.
Oh,
Okay, sweet.
If there'll be random spore swabs that I got from Z Labs. If anybody wants to participate, just tell me what year these candies come out. What year they made them come out.
what year?
They
I
are
love that.
old.
I love Good and Plenty.
Yeah, David mentioned this quote. I wanted to look up the full quote here. I've mentioned this before. 21 Pilots from Car Radio. It says, faith is to be awake, and to be awake is for us to think, and for us to think is to be alive. I love that quote. Faith is to be awake, and to be awake is for us to think, and for us to think is to be alive. We talked a little bit about that with the awareness of awareness. It's a very Eastern philosophy. And that's what happens whenever you make assumptions. You're looking at the full facts without making assumptions. You're seeing everything as it truly is. It's having a full awareness. It's hard to achieve as a human being, but it's why communication really can get you as close as you can get to being in somebody else's shoes. Like, why did you do that? And if somebody tells you and then they lie to you, that's on them, right? But that's why we practice our fifth agreement. We still have to go and learn. And I can't expect everybody to be a psychologist and learn how to dance and, what to say and how to say it, because there's so many different personalities, and intertwining with those personalities makes your life really difficult. But as long as you do your part, follow your end of the agreements, you're helping solve the world's problems one person at a time, the way I see it. And there will be people that you'll be able to show the four agreements to, that they'll be really intrigued by it, but you cannot lead a horse to water. Spirituality is no different. It might take years for somebody to find it, and sometimes they never find it. Sometimes people, just never decide it's for them.
I don't see any guesses yet, but there's a delay, so they're probably just now getting it.
And if there's no guesses, I'm not going to take it personally. I'll just have more swabs.
More for next time. think it's interesting that it was invented by the Quaker City Chocolate and Confectionery Company. That's a mouthful.
Well,
So
those
the-
are good.
This is not that long.
The
I'll say they're
Quakers
super good.
were very, very strict. Oh, Four Leaf says 1946.
Older.
Yep, exactly. But yeah, the Quakers. I remember back in like high school, during my history class, we learned about the Quakers, the Shakers, Oneida, all of those. What did they call themselves? They were basically like little communities of people that were like trying to create their own religious utopias. The Quakers were very, very. They separated boys and girls, and like if they were in the same school or the same class, they had a line down the middle of the hallways where boys down one side and girls down the other. And I always thought, which I was wrong, I always thought that that's where the song "The Hokey Pokey" came from. You put your right foot in, you put your, crossing the line. But it turns out it predates the Quakers.
Oh,
But
wow.
we now think of the Quakers as oatmeal. 1893.
Yep.
All right, Four Leaf. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Four Leaf. Cheers, buddy. Thank you for being here, man.
I'll try to get them out tomorrow or Monday.
Sweet.
Monday, the post office is closed.
Yeah, so Tuesday. If I don't get them in the box tomorrow, it'll be Tuesday.
Yep.
Sweet, man.
Still have your address though.
So the Quakers, they were the super duper religious version community. And turns out that now we all think of them as, that little Quaker guy in the front of the oatmeal box. That's what they the little pilgrim hat that's around at the same time. Right. So there was also the Shakers, and they were known for I think they were known for dancing or something like that. But Oneida is the one that I think is the most interesting because it was a free love community. They were very, very, nobody got married, and the kids were raised by the community. And they were hated so much by the other settlers that they got kicked out of the country. And they were basically banished to Canada. So the Oneida, as they evolved into a silverware company. Like they were really, really, really good at working silver. So there's the Oneida Silverware Company. That's where that company originated, was from those people. So kind of like Quaker Oats, we got silverware from or our modern silverware came from the Oneida. But yeah, I always thought that the community was really, really interesting because people didn't get married, and the community raised the kids as a whole.
Yeah,
it was really fascinating stuff. But yeah,
wonder if that's where that "It Takes a Village" comes from. Could be.
I wonder.
Yeah.
I wonder.
You're onto something with that one. That makes sense.
It does make sense. I've never heard about this. It's crazy.
We had some Amish down the road from me here, and Saturday mornings they used to make donuts and pies and stuff, and you could go and buy them. And I think it was last weekend or the weekend before was their last sale that they were having. They all packed up their stuff, and I believe they moved to Ohio. I'm not sure of the exact circumstances, but for whatever reason they left this area. And it was too bad because they had such a cool store. You go in there, and they had all kinds of homemade soaps, and the soaps were awesome. They had beautiful cutting boards and all kinds of handmade stuff. Everything was handmade. It wasn't like some stores you go in like they're supposed to be handmade, and they have all kinds of like junk in there. This was all really nice stuff, even chairs. But it was really good donuts. They had like apple in them. They had some that had like apple.
Where I grew up in Kansas, the town that we used to do all of our shopping in was Hutchinson. And in South Hutch is where all the Amish lived. All the Amish and the Mennonites and everybody. We rarely see them because they lived on the other side of town. But when we did go to that side of town and went to their stores, those were some of the best bulk grocery stores. It's a lot like what if I walk into like a Sprouts here in Denver, that's what it was like. But it was very rustic, very, just it was really, really good and cheap food. I loved it. But Amish know their food, man. They got good food. And they know how to like preserve, and they do.
Yeah.
Like I love that kind of thing. Like I wish we didn't lose that as a society.
Yeah, 100%.
Sustain yourself.
But yeah, don't get me started. How we're at for about 20 more minutes. Yeah, we definitely have to get back to living with the land and not abandon technology. We're gonna work with it, but definitely not abandon nature either.
I feel like I'm going to be eating a lot more mushrooms this year, wild mushrooms, because every year I dabble in eating a different kind of mushroom. Like last year, it was Gomphidius and Crugompus. This year, I think it's going to be Russellas. I'm just going to be going all out and eating a bunch of Russellas because most of them are edible, and it's really, really easy to tell which ones are or are not. And if you do find one that's not edible, it's unlikely to kill you unless you're like in Japan or like Asia. Because there's only like one Russula that I know of that can cause death, but it doesn't grow in the United States.
Yeah, I was recently reading an article that there was some people getting some death cat poisoning out in California.
Would you like an explanation on that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the death cap mushrooms, like this happens every year. Every year, there's like around this time because California's at the end of their season, and we're about to start ours. So it's people from other countries that aren't used to our mushrooms coming here and saying, "Oh, that looks like a." It's not Amanita. It's called Vulvaria. It looks just like a death cap, but it has pink spores instead of white spores. And if you don't know that difference, you can very, very easily pick a mushroom. And you're like, oh, this looks just like the mushrooms we used to pick all the time, the straw patty mushrooms, they call them. And they look just like the straw patties mushrooms we have out in Asia, but they're not. And people eat them and they die. And this year alone, they've already had several deaths and liver transplants.
Okay.
Because they are actually eating the Amanita phalloides or phalloid. I can't pronounce it. Phalloides.
I can't remember any of the details of the article I read, but yeah.
But yeah, and I've found those the edible lookalike here at City Park in Denver. I saw it and I was like, hey, there's a death cap. But the guy that took us on the foray, he was like, no, that's actually not a death cap. That's actually an edible mushroom. Then I did a deep dive and I'm like, holy crap, it really is. I could have swore that was a death cap. But me, I know the deadly mushrooms. So if I see something that looks like a deadly mushroom, I'm going to stay away from it. That is one of the best ways to start learning mushroom identification is start with like one good mushroom that year that you want to try to figure out. Anything with pores on the bottom, like, sponge, that's usually a good way. Avoid the gills one the gilled mushrooms at first, because the deadly mushrooms have gills. There aren't any deadly ones that don't have gills that I'm aware of. People have died from morels. Those don't have gills, but that's more of like a buildup of toxins over the years. There's a lot of weird things about some mushrooms are only conditionally toxic. But Russellas specifically, I've been learning more about it. I found a undescribed Russella last summer. Got the DNA sequence back, but it's partial. I wouldn't say it's undescribed. It's partially described. So I don't necessarily know what to call it, but I know it's not what I thought it was originally. I originally thought it was a Russella decolorans, which is the coppergill Russella, but it turns out it's probably going to get a name like the banana Russella or the egg yolk Russella, because it's a yellow Russella. And the gills are surprisingly yellow too, but it's not what I thought it was. It's not the mushroom that was in my ID book at all. It's an undescribed species. So this is the mushroom that needs to get added to the next updated book from Vera, whatever.
Okay.
Where'd I put it? I misplace my books all the time. Just got stacks and stacks of everything. Here it is. Yeah, Vera Stucky. So this is the most current version of the mushrooms of the Rocky Mountains region, and the mushrooms that I keep finding. I'm like, this book is out of date, and I keep adding little sticky notes to try update. And I'm like, this book, even though it's the most current version, it's still 10 years old.
Oh wow.
Wow.
And we've learned so much more about all the different subspecies and lookalikes, and
Mm.
it helps. It's a good starting point, but you really need to go out there with people that have already seen those mushrooms before. It really, really, really helps. And for me,
Yep.
like I won't eat anything unless I know for sure it's not going to kill me. A little upset
Right.
tummy, I can deal with that. I haven't dealt with that, but but I'm less afraid of rustlers because I know that they won't kill me.
Yeah, I'm excited to get out there and try foraging for mushrooms for the first time. I mean, I've done it a little bit, but not seriously. I'm more of a
Yeah,
plant
man.
guy, so that's where my focus is usually.
It's going to be great.
But
And I'll
again,
be
you're
with you.
never better for not knowing something. Try to expand your horizons. I'd like to do a little bit of gem hunting too.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
I've already done a little bit of it, so we'll see.
There's a reason why my name is
We'll
Nerd
see.
Nature and like Nerd Nature instead of like Myco Nerd. There is a Myco
Uh-huh.
Nerd out there. He's a good guy. But I love all nature, not just mushrooms. Like
Cool.
rocks, plants, mushrooms,
Yeah.
you
Trees.
name it. I love it. I love that kind of survival stuff.
Yes, sir.
So good. Like I've done a lot of bushcraft stuff. Like I've made pipes, I've made rings out of wood, like bent wood rings. But yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah.
Just going out into the wilderness and just making something with your hands.
Mm.
And then you get a little
Yep.
souvenir out of it.
I'm actually working on that double extraction video right now. I got a couple days to let that tincture set, and then I'm
Sweet.
going to finish up recording it. A couple more herbal pills too. Some out of some resins, some boswellia, stuff like that. Frankincense, essentially. A couple other pills. A lot of people probably aren't familiar that they can do that.
Lynette says, "Show me your rock collections."
Show me your rocks,
don't
boy.
get me started on the rock collections. Oh my god, I
Oh
got so many
gosh.
behind me
You're
right now.
not even wearing one, are you? Are you wearing yours?
I got
Are you
one.
wearing yours?
Got
Okay,
one.
yeah. All right, yeah.
So
Yeah.
this one specifically it's a rare kind of quartzite. I found it at where was that? It's called Castlewood Canyon. The rocks in that area are known to be from a volcanic reaction that happened out in Salida, so out in the middle of the mountains. And then, like Castlewood Canyon is east of Colorado Springs, or no, east of Castle Rock, which is between Springs and Denver. But if you go out there and like all of those, this rock it was basically sandstone that got molten by the volcanic activity and then flung from the mountains all the way out there. And then it was basically, and since it was sand, it's a bunch of little tiny microcrystals in here. So it's kind of like smoky quartz, but it's a bunch of little microcrystals forming the one big rock. And I really, really like this one because it's like you can actually shine a light through it, and you can see that it's actually like a gray, dark gray rock. Most quartzite is white. So that's why it's so unusual. And that's why I really, really like this one a lot. I was just walking down the path and I was like, oh, that's a cool rock over there. It looks like someone just smashed a rock against a boulder. And there's just some fragments near the bottom there. I'm like, those are really pretty. I picked it up and I held it up against the light. And I'm like, that's kind of clear. That's really, really neat. And it took me a few days to get it down to this point, but I also got a ring out of it too. There it is. I'll show off some of my other necklaces I made. And you all know my buddy Chris. I was talking about Russelus just now.
Here's everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for being here tonight.
Yeah. So I'll finish talking about this one first. So this one, when I cut this up, I sliced it down the middle, and there's a big old chunk of rock up here above it. So that piece of rock, when I actually made into a ring.
Very cool.
It's a big old chunky thing.
Nice.
But I love it. But you can see how it's brown on one side and a little darker on the other. That's actually the surface of the rock. It was not black on the outside. It had like a brown crust where it was like weathering. So this was kind of my reject piece, but it turned out it was like, oh, that's actually really pretty. That's chunky. I like it. But then I was talking about Russellas a moment ago. My buddy Chris, you guys know him. he made me this Russula necklace. So it's got a Russula on it, and it's one of the purple ones, which it's the purple Russulas are hard to identify because there are several different ones. I'm like, is it a Russula Montana or is it a Russula? There's a couple different ones, but as far as it's like, if it's not most Russulas, the one test you can do to find out if it's edible or not. So it's so easy. Just taste it. If it's spicy, don't eat it. If it's not spicy and it's mild, you're good to go.
Wow, I just realized that we've been doing this show the whole time, and it says I'm nerd nature. What's up, buddy? I'm your twin. It's because I dropped out and then came back in before the show. That's hilarious. Fuck
Some of
it.
my
It's all good.
favorite
You guys
rocks
know
I've
who I am. What's
gotten
up?
was from Creed, Colorado. And I really like that it came from Creed because it kind of has that religious connotation to it. But there's a mine there called Last Chance Mine. It was a silver mine back in the day. But on their trailings pile, it is just full of sow belly agate. It doesn't show up very well on them, but it's agate. It's purple and blue and white.
Purplish.
But it's called sow belly because it's kind of like bacony. And this is one that I had my nephew cut a slab for me, and then I bought the bits so that we could cut out the two holes, like one and then two. This was the test one. That's why it's got that broken piece here on the side, because this was the outside of the rock and this was the inside. But I love this one so much because it looks like a donut. It's so T Crew. It's just a donut with a bite out of it. So then the second one I made, the other side of this one I gave to Derek. So the other side of this where the rough is, I have right here. So the reason there's a big old chunk of amethyst right there. So this lines up almost perfectly with my rock here.
Oh, cool.
So Derek has the other side. And then the other side of that is right here, which my nephew said, he actually said it through his rock polish, his rock tumbler. And like, this is amazing. And he did all this braiding and he did such a good job. Everything I do, he does better. I am so proud of this guy, my nephew. He's so amazing. But like, this is one of the best pieces I've gotten yet because it's so shiny and it's just, I love
Proper.
it. You can really see that bacon right there, how it looks bacony.
Is that
speckles in it?
Is that leather whip or like a really thin paracord or?
This is hemp.
It's hemp whip. Okay.
This is hemp cord, and he's got brown and black on his. So he was copying what I had did, but he just did it better. Mine is just a simple braid with hemp. He took two colors of hemp, braided it correctly, and did the nice ties and the knots. And he even took, so I have this ring. He has this little piece of wood right here. Has a little, like a little extra thing. That is the same wood that I have my ring that is from river birch. This is my bent wood ring that I made from Lost Creek Wilderness. So he was just fiddling with some sticks when we were out at Lost Creek, and I was like, "That's really pretty. It's got this nice burgundy color to it." And he's like, "I bet we could make some nice veneer, or what do you call it? That really, really thin wood."
Varnish.
No, I think that's the coating.
It's veneer. Veneer is a thin, yeah.
Right. So we started experimenting with it, and
wood.
on that trip is when I started making these rings. So he's got this really, really nice, big, bulky one that keeps on his thumb. It's got a big old knot on it, a branch knot. But he wants to put a gemstone in the middle of it.
Okay.
I love that he took a piece of the wood from a place that's very spiritual to me, and he put it on there. That was really, really meant something to me. So these couple stones are pretty nice, but they got nice purple color to it. But my ultimate goal was to get this piece cut, because this is like really the perfect specimen of how it's supposed to look. This is
just like Jupiter
there, right? It looks like a planet. But if you look at it close, those are like crystals. You can see like the terminations of the crystals and stuff in there in that But I love that one. But if you want to see
It's
that how it looked
crazy.
before we cut it, it was like that. Very rough. But I
Uh-huh.
see the pattern. I'm like, ooh, that's so perfect. I want that one as my necklace. I just haven't finished polishing it yet. It's too special to me. I'm taking my time. And I'm going to have another necklace soon. But ideally, this summer, hopefully all three of us and a few more, we can go back to Creed, Colorado, go back to the Last Chance Mine and spend a day out there, tour the mine and check out their little museum and dig for our own rocks.
Very cool. Yep. Can't wait.
$2
Or maybe
a
even
pound.
have a little spot of our own to do that too. That'd be cool too.
And I paid $12 and I came home with like a bucket of rocks. And I gave away a bunch
Cool.
to like Mike and Kim and a bunch of people that were at the Rocky Mountain Mush Fest last year. They all got rough rocks from me that were not polished.
Okay.
But
So if you
I'm
wanna get
excited. This
stoned-
could be good use.
If
It's
you
going
want
to
to
be
get
a good
stoned with us, you bring home a bunch of rocks. It'll be a good time.
use. Yeah. But yeah, out here in Colorado, you can find all kinds of cool stuff like giant smoky quartz.
Yeah.
This is one I found.
What are you cutting them with? It's diamond bits.
Yeah, diamond bits. Exactly.
I'll let everybody, not to segue, but yeah, I want to let everybody know that I'm going to be making some psilocybin infused teas soon. That's what I do. My personal business, I sell teas and tinctures and herbal blends and stuff like that. Anyway, so thinking about combining the two worlds and doing some mushroom infused teas, some herbal teas, some caffeinated teas, stuff like that as well too. So yeah. And also we are going to be, after we jump off the show tonight, we're going to be hopping on Minecraft. We offer it as part of our $5 perk for our membership. If you guys want to join us, you guys get the membership for $5, and then we'll send you the link to the realm. And you can come on in, hang out with us. We're allowed to have 10 people up there at once. And tonight, I think there's only 4 of us, so we got room for 6 more.
Me, you.
Magic David will probably be there.
Yeah, cool.
And then
I may be laggy tonight because the new update that came out in Minecraft completely destroyed the way I was playing it on my Linux machine. And I don't want to wait another couple weeks for them to fix it. So I borrowed my daughter's laptop. It's really slow. So I will probably start dying more.
Can't be that bad. I played it on an old Xbox S, so I'm not running too much power.
It'll be worth it though. It's fun.
Yeah, we have fun over there. We got a lot already started. We've been playing for what, maybe 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, or something like that.
Something like that. And I haven't played for close to a week, probably.
We gotten really far with this in a little bit of time we've been playing. So yeah. Come join us. It's a nice way to get creative. Hang out.
I've done a few things that I haven't told you guys about in the Minecraft server yet. I have a few hidden objects that I found that I haven't told anybody about.
Cool, perfect. Can't wait.
But we'll see. We'll see. I might have to take a group of you guys out to the Nether or something.
Sweet.
It's gonna be scary, but I know you guys. I think you guys can handle it.
I need to get some quartz anyway to be able to build the hotel that we're working on. So it's one thing that I'm missing. I was just messing with some glazed terracotta. Whenever you come in later, you'll be able to see it on the ground. I was kind of messing with the designs and stuff, different colors. I need to go out and harvest some more terracotta. We're talking nerd talk. What are we doing? What are we doing right now?
Did you know that
I drink sleepy time tea? Yeah, I make my own blend actually.
It's made in Boulder, Colorado, and I've toured the factory. It is a really fun
The actual sleepy time tea. Okay, well.
A cool thing about sleepy time tea is it has a mint in it that most people never guess.
Yeah, peppermint is actually one of the herbs that I use in my sleep blend because it's great for sleep. People don't know that, especially when you combine with lavender. 100%.
Interesting.
Like just regular peppermint leaves. That's why it's in there like that energy, because it's one of the benefits is they use it for sleep. The Egyptians used to use it for sleep. It's been around for a long time. My blend, I'm not to cut you off, but my blend has blue lotus, lavender, chamomile, mint, and valerian root.
Valerian. Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah.
You have that.
You can add things like skullcap and stuff like that in there too, but yeah.
You have that available, HB? To
I have some available. I need to make another batch, so yeah, I have a little bit of it available. Yeah.
so very cool. All
So
right.
Yep. I need to make another batch of it.
on the tour, there's
Just
a
need
room.
Blue Lotus.
There's a room that they call the mint room. Like as you
Okay.
walk up, it's like a big old garage door, and it's got like these two candy canes like pillars next to the garage doors. We're like, hey, it's the mint room. But when you walk into the room, the tour guide's like, our sleepy time tea has like peppermint and some of these other mints in it, but there's one ingredient that most people don't think of that we add to our sleepy time tea. It is a type of mint. And when you walk into that room, they open up the garage doors and you walk into that room and you smell it and your eyes just start burning because it's so strong. But I could smell the ingredient that the tour guide was asking us about. And I was like, I know, I know what it is. Catnip.
Yeah, because catnip is in the mint family.
It's a tranquilizer for people, just like
Yep.
what you were saying with peppermint. But I did not know that
Yeah.
about peppermint. I did know that
Yeah,
about
man.
catnip.
Yeah, if you have a hard time sleeping, use a little bit of lemon, peppermint, tea before bed. Chamomile is actually one of the best sedative herbs you can use. Valerian root is another great one. It's a good thing to be like listen to your body and not to dive headfirst into these things. Valerian has stinky feet.
It does.
Yeah, what I like to do is I want to make sure that you're not allergic to any of these things. So just like have a little bit of it. Make sure you're not having any like throat burning or mouth itching or anything like that. And then kind of wean yourself into it. But yeah, if you find you don't have any issues with it, it's going to give you one of the greatest natural ways to get into sleep because you're not disrupting your natural sleep cycle, but you're encouraging it naturally. Melatonin is okay for like short spans, but taking it long term even can be really bad. Much less let's not even get me started on sleep
Agreed.
medications. Yeah,
Totally agree.
there's so many natural herbs that people have been using forever to try to go to sleep for good reason. They work.
I've been taking melatonin for quite a while now since I quit cannabis. So that would be like September. And
Yes, sir.
I found it's not working. And recently I was having a hard time getting to sleep and I was taking up to 6 melatonin a day. And I mean like the recommended dose is 2. And I'm taking up
Yep.
to 6. Wasn't working. And so
That's
I
what
tried
happens.
this little thing right here. And this looks like a little piece of technology, but really it's nature because it emits the frequency 783, and I'll listen to this before bed, and I've been sleeping so good. I mean, and I bought this, and I was like, this isn't gonna work. I'm just throwing my money away. I gave it no stock. You know what I mean? Just like, yeah, I just threw away money. And you plug in a speaker here. There's a little port on the side, and then you have to plug in the power here at the bottom. It's even the old USB like the old phones had like 10 years ago.
Micro
And then
USB.
this little LED here will light up, and then you can press these buttons like this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can change the number on here and put the frequency on, and you can put in whatever frequency. Like they say, 1 is the angel frequency. And I've listened to that. It's supposed to be like if you're seeking enlightenment and stuff like that. So it's different frequencies, but I mean, it is a little piece of technology.
Delta,
It
theta,
is
theta.
nature, like
Yeah.
reset your rhythm, your frequency, and it works really good for me at bedtime. The other times, maybe not so much, but bedtime definitely. I mean, my sleep has been like, ambient good. Like
So can it produce the brown note? I had to go
I don't
there.
know, but if it does, I'll play it for you. You
Might
get a
just say
little
here.
audio file from me. They already play it in the car with the family.
Let's find out.
Like he says here that dream tea, it helps you dream, question mark. I love to dream. I have a dream book. Well, man, I actually it's one of the biggest things that I help people with my herbs is people's sleep. Because it's helped building a natural sleep cycle, and it's a great way to do it is by using these herbs because it's ways that people again have been doing it for thousands of years. If you're really interested in the dreaming aspect of it, lucid dreaming and stuff like that, look up Blue Lotus. We talked about this a little bit on the show already. It's literally a dream herb, and it can help you be able to lucid dream a lot better, a lot more clear. You can make teas out of it. You can also smoke it. There's different ways you can do it. Look
My
at Blue
son
Lotus. Make sure you get the full flowers.
Yes. I've tried
from what
smoking.
my
Go ahead,
son's tried, from what my son's tried that he sent HB, he loves what you sent. So
Yep, I try to make it like I always tell people like if you want cheap tea, you can just go to the store and buy. They have bag teas and it's all fine and good. But if you really want high quality tea, I sell a lot of good high quality teas, and I don't
yeah,
sell anything that I don't drink myself or that I wouldn't drink. So yeah, that's kind of how I do it. I have coffees and stuff like that too. Tinctures, herbal teas, medicinal teas for like different ailments, sleep and lungs, stuff like that. So yeah,
yeah,
that's why I was literally down in earlier. Is a little bit of a like a super blend that I have right here. I've made up. It's got oregano, thyme, rosemary, mint, elderberry, a bunch of different great herbs in here. I think there might even be a little bit of mushroom tincture in there too.
they really are very sweet. They look like I'm looking at them like, oh, they're so pretty, and then you just pour it and you put it in your diffuser.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Let it
100%.
steep a few minutes, and
Yeah, 100%, man.
if you
Yeah,
like
and
tea,
everyone has a different flavor and different style. Yeah, because some of them are like morning teas, and some of them are like afternoon teas, and some of them are caffeinated and non-caffeinated, depending on what time of the day or what your feelings like, right? Is Egyptian blue lotus the same as blue lotus? Yeah, that's specifically the one I'm referring to. I should be more clear. The Egyptian blue lotus, yeah, that's what I'm specifically referring to. Because there are a couple of other different lotus flowers. Yeah, specifically the one I'm referring to is what they call the Nile River lotus or the Egyptian lotus. Yes, correct. It has a beautiful blue color with a yellow on the inside. And from what I'm aware of, I haven't studied too much into this, but from what I'm aware of, that the concentration of there's two different chemical components in it that give it its quote unquote psychedelic effect, and those are more concentrated in the yellow parts of the flower, which would make sense as opposed to being in the petals. So it would be in the pistils.
oh,
But it's all an experiment, man. They just experiment and let me know. I made wine out of it and I've smoked it before. But most commonly now today, I just drink it in tea, which is just maybe once every few months. I have a hard time sleeping and I'll drink it and it'll put me right to bed. It's very suggestive without, you wake up the next morning and not really feel like groggy or anything like that. So cool. If you guys need anything, reach out to me. You know where to find me. You can just message me on the comments and say, hey, reach out to me. I want to buy some teas or tinctures. And you can also reach out to me on Instagram at Headbuster290 or on Discord 290 #8595. My email is. Go ahead.
go ahead.
My email is Sean SHA WN _44 at rocketmail.com. You can reach me through there too. It's another great way to reach me.
And on the site too,
All
right? You can send it on the site
On your profile, maybe?
I'm not familiar with what you're saying.
Because your contact information on the website.
On the Mystic Journeys website?
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't have a website. No, I don't have a personal website for my company. But yeah. What happens is if you guys message me, I'll just send you a list of what I got, tinctures, teas, and stuff like that, and you can order off that list.
There is a messaging system on the website. I'm not sure how well it functions.
Okay. Well, yeah, definitely. You can get my information off there on mysticjourneyschurch.org.
And if
Cool.
you send
And
a message
tomorrow,
basically the way it works is like you send somebody a message on the website that has an account, it'll send them an email, and then they have to log into the website to respond.
Perfect. Yeah, tomorrow we're covering. We were supposed to be covering Paramore, Haley Williams solo stuff, but we're switching it out for Through Doors Down. The lead singer Brad passed away recently, so he's been dealing with cancer for almost a year. So he finally succumbed to cancer. So we're gonna cover him in honor of his passing. So and then next weekend we'll cover Cake, because the founding member of the band Cake actually passed away as well. So we're going to cover that band, and then we'll get back to Haley Williams later on at the end of the month, just out of respect. So yeah, that's what we're doing tomorrow, Three Doors Down. I'd love to see you guys over there for that. You guys got anything else before we wrap out?
Please subscribe to the Colorado Myco League YouTube. I need 50 subscribers so I can start going live with Chris.
We'll also put up a post.
Yeah.
Derek, what were you saying, buddy?
Yeah, here, nerdy. Can we Can you throw it on the chat on here, and then
Oh.
maybe people before they leave they can jump over
Yeah.
there. That'd be
Let me
really
see
awesome.
Let me see if I can do
Cool.
that.
What were we saying there, Derek?
Oh, James Vanderbeek, he just passed yesterday or the day before from cancer.
Well, who's he played with?
He doesn't play. He was an actor. He was an actor.
Okay.
He's a
Well,
bunch of stuff.
I wasn't.
I probably would know who you're talking about if I seen him.
I missed the name. Well, who was that?
James Vanderbeek.
I know that name. I'm not putting a face to it though. Oh, I know that guy.
He was in Dawson's Creek.
Thank you.
And that's what most people know him from. Varsity Blues, the movie. He was in the Bill and Ted. I mean, Jay and Silent Bob. Like when they was in Hollywood, and they was playing Jay and Silent Bob in the movie. Him and the pie dude. You know what I'm talking about?
THC CBD gummies help. Oh yeah, that's the funny thing. Whenever I always have talks with people about herbs and they're telling me they have a hard time sleeping, I'm like, "Do you smoke weed?" They're like, "No." I'm like, "Okay, well, never mind then." If you smoke weed, you should try edibles because that will really put you to sleep. Honestly, I can't encourage you to do something that you don't do, but it's like really help. Just a little microdose. And honestly, you don't need much. Even me, I have a pretty high tolerance for edibles, but just 10 milligrams will put me to sleep like a baby. Honestly.
The edibles definitely hit different.
Definitely.
'cause I could smoke, but the edible it lasts longer. And if it's a legit edible, because there's so many that are like they say like they're 250 milligram or something like that, and I can eat that, and I'm like, I'm not feeling it. But then
Right.
there's edibles that are legit, and they hit good and they last a long time.
Yeah.
It goes back to that trusted sources, just like the mushroom blends and the chocolates and
Hey, make it yourself. Move to a legal country, grow your own weed, make your own extracts, make your own edibles. That's what you should do. Or petition to get it legalized. And,
with the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, if it's part of your religion, they can't stop you. But I would still be discreet. Don't look for trouble. But there are things from religious art and things like that, and just from religious history and discoveries that they've made, where you can use weed as well. There are churches that just around weed, but with the
part of what we
Mr.
try to do
Church,
here.
you get to choose how to do things your way.
If you do or you don't.
If you are looking for some of those instances to back up your beliefs, just ask. I can point you in the right direction. One of those places is the Canterbury Psalter with that picture. So
we actually have printouts for these as well.
One small section of one of the pieces of art from the Canterbury Psalter. If you go a few
I could
pages
grab
down, the burning bush, it looks very, very much like a pot plant. and other things throughout
right here.
The Canterbury Psalter. There's art that looks like cannabis. And there were altars discovered in, I don't know what country, but they found some old religious altars and stuff from early Christians where they had cannabis resin on the altars. They did it from way back when. So they've been using it religiously for far longer than we knew. That's the one. Yep.
Yeah.
But there's a few. This is just the first panel that talks about like Genesis. It goes all the way through like Cain and Abel there. But
right,
there's other pages of the Canterbury Psalter past that one that have burning bush and things like that. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that's
perfect.
Available. That specifically is available for download on our website. Once you become a member, it's free. Just put in your email, and it's under the member resources. They have several different versions of that. One is a Greek one, and another one is a Neolithic one. So the oldest one I have is the Neolithic one. That's as old as it gets right now that I'm aware of for like mushroom content.
We have a bunch of little perks, like we said, when you got signed up for free on the website, that's kind of little. We have a bunch of little things like that. It comes with the Discord, it comes with Spotify links, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of freebies, and then if you guys upgrade for $5, it comes with a couple more perks like
Voice
the
channels.
Minecraft server we mentioned, use voice channels, and we also do movie night Mondays where we invite you guys into Discord. We have like a private session. We just watch. Right now, we're doing Hamilton Pharmacopoeia. So
So
yeah, we try to switch it up.
so Monday we're going to be watching season 2, episode 7 of Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia, Amanita muscaria.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Can't wait for that one. It's gonna be good.
That's going to
Yeah,
be a
the
good
other
one.
episode was awesome. It was really cool.
I like that one.
His
a lot.
episodes are so good, so informative, right? It's like balances the line between being like, he's just like a hippie street kid, but also he's like super informative and really educational. Like he's went to school for the stuff that he knows. So
Earlier this week we watched the peyote episode, which was about
Yeah.
mescaline.
Yeah.
And then the week before that we watched the psilocybin episode, which was a really good one. But I'm really looking forward to the next one. The Amanita muscaria one's a really, really good one. Because it's a
cool.
deeply misunderstood mushroom. And even people that I know in my circles, they're very, very scared of this mushroom. And I'm like, look,
I would say I'm one of those people. I don't have a tendency to want to try it. I haven't thought about wanting to try it. So
I was wanting to try it before I started growing my own cubensis. And I did. It's just that I didn't get anything out of it that I thought I was going to get out of it. And you do have to be careful. You have to. It is a mushroom that you have to be careful with. There are risks, far more risks than others.
Well, I'm sure we'll learn about it.
It is a neurotoxin, but it's not as dangerous as they originally thought. Originally, they thought that it could cross your blood-brain barrier and that it could cause brain lesions. Based off of what I know, that's not a thing that happens. The studies that most people are talking about when they say that, it was a study done a long, long, long time ago where they directly injected ibotenic acid into the brains of rats to cause lesions. So it was doing what it was supposed to do, and they were directly injecting it, not eating it.
Says here the Viking word berserk is from taking these mushrooms and going to war. Mushrooms have been around as long as we. Yep.
Some people believe that
Yep.
the Vikings used to use that.
Yep. It's pretty interesting. I love that story. Though. Also, my favorite mushroom story ever is the Amanitas with the story of Santa Claus. We talk about this every chance I get, every Christmas. I'll talk about it all December long about how it's probably very accurate that everything has to do with Santa Claus comes from these Amanita mushrooms. Pretty neat.
There's a lot of there are some people that say that that's a bunch of baloney, but I'm not one of those people. I truly believe
the evidence speaks for itself.
The evidence does speak for itself, and that their religion has been so secret for so many years that they still don't talk about it.
And just like how Christianity was probably built on mushrooms, and now they don't talk about it.
These last few years, those mushrooms specifically have been getting a lot of attention. So up there in like Siberia, they've actually been cracking down on the mushrooms up there where they hadn't previously, and that's where they don't share their religious practices with outsiders. It's very, very secretive, but that's where Santa comes from.
But I have heard some people having success with alcohol and tobacco use with Amanitas, getting off of tobacco and alcohol. So it's pretty neat. Yeah. Any benefit that people can get off these things from nature, more the merrier, right?
Yeah,
even though I guess you could argue that alcohol and tobacco is nature.
There's very little.
They're addicting.
Actual scientific studies that are trustworthy and done well on these mushrooms. But because of that, that's why it's legal, because everybody's afraid of them.
Correct. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, it also depends on how you prepare it and like where did you get it? How old is it? Has it been decarboxylated? Did you age it for like a few months before you ate it? There's a lot of factors that go into it. But there was one book I read on it where it was just a compilation of just a lot of different people reported what happened and how they used it. A lot of people using it topicals. Some people are using it as like just consuming it as medicine or tinctures. And lots of different ways. But this lady, she was a doctor, but not like the kind of doctor you'd want to be writing this book, if that makes sense. Um, but it was interesting. I was very, very skeptical because it's a bunch of, regular people it's like a trips report channel. But
Right.
these are the reports that these people have said this mushroom has helped with. And I'm like, okay, well, this has some value. It's just, I can't put a lot of weight on it. But that's something that I'm still kind of hesitant to talk to Chris about, because I know he's completely against this mushroom. Where I'm like, well, I don't know, just do your research, be safe, don't be stupid.
I would say I'm probably in between where you guys are. It's never appealed to me, right? Because I love mushrooms so much. Like I have a great relationship with weed and mushrooms and DMT that like it fills all the niches for me. Like what I can't get from one key to open a door, I feel like I can get it from another. Like, and I've only heard from, like I said, from personal experiences of people having success with using this mushroom for, addiction purposes and not necessarily spiritual purposes. So I'm more of a recreational slash spiritual guy. Like I go into it with an open mind. Like if all I can get is a recreational good time, hey, I'm down for it. But if I can get the spiritual enlightenment, I'm down for that too, right?
So
So
one
I
of
try
the
to like
reasons
mix it
why I'm
up.
so interested in it is because a lot of the old mushroom art from old religions, it has
Specifically shows the Amanita,
specifically an Amanita mushroom.
right?
So I'm like, what are these 4 mushrooms? Like if that's an Amanita,
And just like you were talking about with the story of Santa Claus, how these people built a religion on it, there's a reason why they did it. Like
that one looks like
it had to be some kind of
golden
spiritual
teacher.
tool.
This one could be blue meanies. This one,
Yeah,
who
Of
knows?
course.
It could be like some sort of albino variety or psilocybe cyanescens,
Correct.
the wavy caps. So psilocybe cyanescens, Panelaeus cyanescens, golden teacher. I don't know. Who knows what strains they had back then? The monks were doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and growing things and like making their own wines and
And they
beers and
weren't the
stuff.
only ones. The
I bet you
Egyptians as well. We were just talking about
they
a Blue
were growing
Lotus.
mushrooms too and cultivating their own strains in secret, because
100%.
that's a lot of the evidence points to the early cults were mushroom / fertility cults.
100%.
Oh yeah, and Mike Barball says, and look at the hat. Yeah, because the halo is also symbolism of a mushroom. Some people think that Jesus was a mushroom, and every time you see him, it's basically basic symbolism and things like that. But
I have a picture here.
I don't know if I subscribe to that, but I
don't know
like
if this will
studying it. That's for sure.
show up on my phone, but this is Egyptian hieroglyphs right here.
Mm-hmm.
And then it shows them actually growing mushrooms. And these are more than likely psilocybe cubensis mushrooms, because they have recorded evidence that they actually did use these in ceremony. They have like jars of honey with mushrooms preserved in them still to this day. Was that you that was speaking about how they had it on cannabis on their tunes and stuff like that? So you that was mentioning that? But yeah, that's the same case with
they found it on the altars or something, right?
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, these have been used in cultures forever, and exactly what we're doing today with mixing and breeding and selective breeding and stuff like that with these mushrooms, they were obviously doing it during their time. John Allegro, who translated some of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Somebody's going to be really knowledgeable about some stuff here. I see.
I believe the anointing oils were probably had cannabinoids in them. You know, the THC, and they probably had better weed back then.
Yeah, better for sure, because it was focused less on being the most potent weed and being really a health thing. Gives you a little bit of the high, it gives you a lot of like the health benefits, a lot of the other cannabinoids that now we're just pushing out for high levels of THC.
Yeah, with
Yep.
all the growth hormones and pesticides.
100%. Who knows what, right?
Mhm.
Yep. Because people are commercially, don't get me started, so I can go on and rant for hours about this, but people are commercially producing this weed, so they're producing it to be really thick and luscious, so they're filling it with chemicals and they're not flushing it afterwards. And then
Right.
the weed you get, you're smoking whatever chemical they put inside of it.
7 days of water before you chop. They'll get all that crap out of there. And
At least, man. At least. Some people go longer than that, and I agree with it, honestly.
Mhm.
and then obviously using natural organics. And raising it under the sun and stuff like that is just all important stuff to me when I think about it. You know, I'm not a stickler. I'm like, it's indoor, it's indoor. I'll partake, but I do prefer outdoor organic.
I like this comment. Ray Cook
The monks
says,
really
yeah, go ahead.
good. The monks really brought a lot to the world: beer, art, cheese.
So
That's hilarious.
two of three right there. Oh, actually, all three. The monks did a lot of art with mushrooms in it. Beer is a sense of it's a type of mycology because you're brewing with yeasts, which is a fungus.
Yep.
Cheese, same.
Point.
You're working with fermentation. So it only makes sense that they had clay pots or something like that, just like the Egyptians did, that they were working in secret with on mushrooms. I swear they had to have been, based off of all the art that I've seen. But
Yeah.
monks, they love mycology, man. They're the original mycologists in my mind. Like, really.
Mm. I drank root beer.
Yeah.
That's different.
Another picture of some.
I have fermented my own root beer out of kombucha and then just added all the spices and stuff. It works great.
I mean, I'm not a fucking mycologist like you, nerdy, but if I had to guess, that looks a lot like psilocybe to me.
Looks like, or I don't see any annulus, so it could be psilocybe, not psilocybe, Panelaeus.
Panasis. Okay.
Which
But
makes
yeah,
sense.
here's another.
Panaeolus occurs on every continent. And
Another picture of some mushrooms.
It's what we used to call blue meanies before a cube variety was named that. Panaeolus cyanescens is the original blue meanies. So, but a cool thing about that, about Panaeolus, is last summer I found some Panaeolus in my apartment complex's front yard where a lot of the people take their dogs and to poop and pee. And I found a bunch of Panaeolus. I didn't know what variety it was. I assumed it was Foensiae, the mower's mushroom, which is not psychoactive. I sent it in for DNA sequencing. It came back as Panaeolus cinctulus, which is a psychoactive species. But the thing is, the psychoactiveness varies a lot from specimen to specimen. I had mentioned this to
as usual.
a well-known mycologist, James Chillane. I always have time with his last name, but he's a big deal in mycology. He led some forays at the Telluride Mushroom Festival last year. He was he's a big part of iNaturalist. He's actually doing some of the DNA sequencing when I send that stuff in.
Talked about it before.
He was at the Colonizing Colorado grand opening. So he came up to me and was like, hey, thank you for doing everything you're doing. You're doing such a good job. You're doing such great work for the community. I'm like, thank you so much. Coming from you, thank you so much. But he was so shy. I found that endearing. I was like, dude, I like you so much more.
The stream, nerdy.
I like you so much more because you're shy. I'm like, you're like me, but you're smarter than me. You're better than me. And I'm like, I want to be your friend.
Oh my gosh.
But he's a cool guy. He was a cool guy. But he specifically said, like, when you find these mushrooms, you can tell which ones are more potent by the ones that have the bluing on the bottom of the stipe.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, if like Psilocybe cubensis alone has a lot of variety and potency. So like Enigma is cubensis, so is Golden Teacher. But that's like a land strain. But PE
and also the bluing in psilocybin doesn't always tell you the strength either, you know, because you can have ones that are blue and
because
doesn't mean necessarily mean they're stronger.
There's psilocybin, there's psilocin, there's baeocystin, there's norbaeocystin, there's norpsilocin, and there's one other one that I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. But there's all these other alkaloids that are very, very similar in structure that grow on these mushrooms, and we don't fully understand them. So I have this mushroom that no one else is cultivating, that it's like got this weird variety. Like, why would anyone want to grow it? Because it's so unpredictable. I'm like, no. I think that the potency has to do with environment. Did it grow in a place where there was enough poop? If it didn't, then you're probably not going to get a potent mushroom. And also, once I get my first spores from this first grow, I'm going to start from spores, and now I'm going to get a lot of variety, and I get to pick and choose which ones I think are the most potent. Just like they did with PE when they were starting to narrow down the genetics of the Golden Teacher. I think most strains started with Golden Teacher. But yeah, I can't wait, because tomorrow I'll be adding a casing layer, because I already colonized the grain. I added it to bulk. I added it to poop, and mixed it with some coco coir and some manure. So it's almost fully colonized that layer. Now I need to add a new non-nutritious true casing layer, not a pseudo casing layer, because it's already colonized. And hopefully in a week or two, I should have some Panaeolus cinctillus.
Okay. Sweet. Keep us updated, man.
I am really excited, because it's
excited
going
for
better
this.
than I thought. And this was my first attempt. I cloned it from a dry mushroom after I got the DNA sequencing back. Because I have like extras. Because every time I send stuff in, if I have plenty, I will usually keep extras at home. And I have like a whole organization system. If there's a certain mushroom I want, I have a spreadsheet where I can just search the spreadsheet for what mushroom I want, and it tells me what box it's in on my shelf. And I just open up that box, and there's my mushroom specimen, and I'm good to go. I love iNaturalist. If you're not using iNaturalist, use it. 3 years ago, you never would have heard me say that. But iNaturalist is the one app that actually has real people behind it, not just an AI algorithm trying to identify your mushroom. And I will take pictures of stuff and not tell people what I think it is, so that other people will chime in first, and then I can. The more people you have chiming in on your thing, the better. But if you say what you think it is first, people will be less likely to chime in and say what they think it is, because they don't want to be. They don't want to be like, oh, I don't want to. Nobody wants to be wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm wrong all the time, but that's how you learn. You guess, and then someone steps in. You're like, well, why did you think it was that instead? Oh, Mello. Sorry, I'm going to answer a question here from Mello. Mello says, would rabbit poop work too? Yes, absolutely. Especially since it's a vegetarian. Rabbit poop, turtle poop. I'm using cow. I bought it from Lowe's. It was like $5 for this big ass bag of manure. Composted manure. You got to make sure that it's properly aged and it's not fresh. You want to make sure that it's composted. It needs to be sun dried and aged in the field. Otherwise, it's not going to grow mushrooms, and you're going to get contamination, almost guaranteed.
Okay.
But yeah. Oh, it looks like Paige is here too. What's up, Paige?
Cheers. Thank you for joining us.
Sometimes I miss when people jump in because they're in the HB chat room instead of the Mystic Journeys.
That's a good point. Splits up from the religious freaks from the people who just want to be weirdos, I guess.
Yep. So we got Ronnie here, we got Paige here, and looks like Mello is in the Mystic Journeys chat. Okay, I'm glad you're all here.
Tomorrow, cheers. Thank you guys. Tomorrow, you guys remember, join us for Working with HB. We do it at 2 p.m. EST, just after lunch. So yeah, come on, join us, and then after the show, we're covering 3 Doors Down. After the show, we do jam session. We get together and play guitar stuff. So come join us. Me and a couple of people in the team are actually getting together. We're gonna do a cover of "Cumbersome" by Seven Mary 3. So yeah,
cool. That's a great song.
Great song. Yeah, it's really a simple song to play on guitar. So yeah, everyone's got it down, and yeah, be fun.
So if you don't have any plans for Valentine's, hang out with HB and enjoy the
Come
music.
I'll be your Valentine, baby.
And if you're alone, be kind to yourself. I mean, that's really important. And if you're with someone, be kind to them so they'll stick around. That's important.
Yeah, that's all I'm doing is I'm gonna hang out and do the show, and then we'll do a jam session. And after the show, we'll probably get on Minecraft for a little while. Yeah. Yeah, I was joking earlier. Like, there's a lot of work to be done in Minecraft. It's fun. I haven't played it in a long time. Got back into it. It's super creative. Really fun.
Yeah, Paige won one of the raffles this morning with T, at T. You stepped in
Cool.
and then you left, and then Pops called your number for the donation for helping out the dog. So if you
Very
haven't seen
cool.
the message and claim your prize. Yeah.
Congratulations to everybody who won. And if you guys want to still donate to the cause, it's for a vet fund for a friend.
Yeah.
Reach out to us on our socials or link tree, or you can go through our website as well.
Yeah.
And we'll get you in touch with the person who takes the donations.
Yeah. Vet bills are not fun, and we hate seeing pets in pain and everything. So it is
Yep.
really awesome that so many people have helped out, and
Yeah.
It might be all you can do is $5 or $10, whatever little bit helps. If the community pulls together, it can actually make a difference. This is the show we were just talking about on Wednesday. You can't do everything, but you can do something.
Yep.
Oh, B. Hendricks.
Yeah, you can do something.
You have your own mushroom variety, nerdy by nature. That's pretty righteous. Yes, I do, but it's not the one I was just talking about. I have my own strain. It's a cross between Ghost, which I cloned from Pops a long time ago. It's one of my favorite strains. And then I crossed it with Hillbilly Pumpkin. So my goal is to create more Colorado themed strains. So I named it Tommy Knocker. It's the ghost in the mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some growing right now. It's very, very little still, and it's my second flush. It looks just like Ghost, only it's got like orange caps. Oh. Yeah, they're little. It's got a few more days to go. This is, like I said, it's the second flush, so it's not that clean looking. Yeah, that's some Tommy Knocker.
Nice.
I'm going to be telling people whenever I get older, like, I swear I know the guy who created that. I swear. He's my friend. We used to talk about it back on the show whenever he first invented it. I'll find the episode. Hold on now.
There's a few people. There's quite a few people that I've given it to last year, but I'll be bringing it back soon. I'm sending it to who won last time I did a contest.
No, I can't remember that, buddy.
I do. I can find out.
Was it Ronnie?
Not Ronnie.
I can't remember, man.
It was Proppy. What is his name? Proppy is Robert Skinner.
Robert. I see. That's why I had the R's mixed up. Okay.
So I was going to give him Ghost, but I gave that to him at the last event in Fort Collins. So I'm going to be giving
That's
him
what I got inoculated right now. Yeah.
So
I got all in one bag going.
Since the transfer is still fresh, I wanted to wait a little bit before I shipped it because I want to make sure it's well established on that agar so it doesn't get knocked off and be bumped around or something. But I'll be sending that in probably Tuesday, because it's in a good spot right now. I took a transfer from an actual live mushroom, so it's a straight clone from the biggest mushroom from that first flush. But it's just, I got to let it colonize that plate a little bit before I could ship it. See here.
I love your southern accent, HB. Yeah, boy, you should have met my daddy, son. You'd be blown away, boy.
I like Derek's Eastern accent. It's wicked smart.
It's a combination of Massachusetts and hee-haw.
Yeah, I'm from South Carolina. That's where I was born and raised, man. You would never know that just by having a conversation with me. I think I was from Atlanta or somewhere, but yeah, that's where I'm from. Hunting, fishing. That's what I do. That's why I'm a nature boy. You can take the boy out of nature. You can't take the nature out of the boy.
I don't hear an accent with UHB.
No, not whenever I just speak like this, but whenever I like talk like that, of course, right? Because that's how my dad was, like really country like that. High tech redneck is what they used to call him.
Mm-hmm. And with Derek, I only hear it every once in a while.
You can hear it very every once in a while with me too. Like certain words I say y'all. I guess it's more common to say y'all now than it ever was. But yeah, don't you live in North Carolina, Derek? Yeah, but Derek's not from North Carolina.
Yeah.
So a lot of people.
Yeah,
I was from Massachusetts,
so
nice.
That makes sense. You're like that, kind of like that
I
Maine.
have a pond out yonder, a little pond out yonder in the backyard.
No,
So many accents in America. What a beautiful place. Yeah, man, it's a huge world, dude. Just in America alone, it's a huge world full of so. Look, I've lived halfway across the United States, 3/4 of the way across it.
so I used to
Country's hell in
drive
North Carolina. Yeah.
for Lyft and Uber, and I was surprised at how many people pegged my accent. And I'm like, I have an accent? What? But they pegged it like so. I moved away from Michigan when I was like 4 or 5, but that's how I talk because that's how my parents talk, and that's how my siblings talk. That's how all my relatives talk. So it's I found it really, really interesting that people from Michigan or people that used to live there and they don't experience that accent anymore, they still recognize it when I speak. And like that's weird because I moved away when I was so young. But I have it apparently.
Jamaican people freak out when they hear me talk. I'm a 6 foot blonde. It is kind of off-putting. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, this girl is like, she's really about this life, dude. And I guess for them, you're part of their culture, so they're like, who are you? That's cool. You're one of the prime examples of why Jamaica is like so cool, like free-hearted but a badass too. So like Jamaica or Australians are the same way, like so free-hearted but like Southern people are like that too, man. Like I love the South. I have no disrespect for the South where I come from. I mean, there's a lot of like problems in the South, just like anywhere else. But yeah, I love the lifestyle, like being outdoors and hunting and fishing. That's how I grew up, man. I was in a tree stand when I was 6 months old hunting with my dad. So yeah, I literally grew up like that, with a garden and all that stuff. Yeah.
I lived in the concrete jungle. I was born in Dorchester, Massachusetts, and that's
Cool. Okay.
right in Boston. It's a city.
Sweet.
And, yeah, we had a little patch of dirt in the backyard, but moving down here, there's just so much land, and like
You like
everybody.
it a little bit better being wide open?
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like there's Walmart 10 minutes that way, and then there's
Cool.
Dollar Generals every 5 minutes because that's how they roll. If you don't, um, if you don't mind going to Dollar General, I'm not a big fan of it, but there's like within 30 minutes, I'm within 3 Walmarts or 4 Walmarts maybe. So there's a lot of stores and stuff like that, but a lot of land too, a lot of land, farmland and stuff. And
Thanks on that.
it drives me crazy, like to think like the people put up these new houses, and they're just stacked right on top of each other. But then you'll drive for 5 minutes, and there'll be nothing but woods and fields, and then a bunch of houses stacked on top of each other. And it's
Yes,
like,
sir.
why do you want to be right on top of somebody and not have, your a nice big property? I mean, and not huge, but you could still, I think, build something and have a property without having someone right on your lap. You know,
Yeah, true.
That's one of the
I
things I like
I have
about
neighbors all
living
around me, but it's
on the
still
west side of the country.
yeah.
Way less populated. But I'm in a city, so
Yeah.
But
Denver's crazy. I mean, Denver's a weird city because it's not like New York where everybody's stacked on top of each other, but it's just a wide landscape filled with people, dude. Lights as far as you can see, man.
yeah,
It's
and it's just,
pretty crazy.
I swear, it's like the city doesn't stop all the way down to Colorado Springs or Pueblo.
It does not.
I swear, you go all the way from Pueblo
It just goes.
to
People
like
don't
Arvada.
understand, I don't
It's
think,
all
unless they've
one
been here and
city.
seen it.
But
Yeah.
pretty much past Arvada, there's a big gap, but there's still a lot of stores between Arvada and Fort Collins and Loveland. But there's not a lot heading up to Wyoming. Wyoming's like the populated state in the country.
I mean, when you think Colorado, you think like mountains and like, like rivers and stuff like that, but you definitely don't think a huge sea of people.
We definitely
That's
have
exactly
the most
what it is.
peaks. Our state has the most peaks,
Oh, yeah.
most mountains, and the most.
Climbed one the other day. It was really sick. It honestly wasn't as hard as I thought. I thought I was gonna have to like really plan my route, but yeah, I went right up and I was like, oh, I could do a little bit steeper than this, I think. And I found some mullein when I got to the top. The mullein that I found at the top of that mountain, that's the mullein I'm using to make my t-shirt video right now.
But it was as tall as you were.
Nah, this one's kind of short because, a lot of those plants have already been like died for the year. So, but yeah, there were some pretty tall ones. But the leaves are all stripped off them. I'm
I've
assuming
seen some
the elk and stuff probably eat those things, right?
huge fields just full of just mullein, just as tall as you
That's
are.
what you need to point me in that direction, big guy. And if you do that, I'll be hooked up for at least a year or two. You know,
On the way to
those
Las
herbs stay
Vegas,
good for at least about a year.
see it everywhere, and it's an invasive weed. It's not supposed to be here.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it's extremely medicinal. But it's a type
Oh
C
yeah, I use it every
noxious
day.
weed. So they've given up on trying to control it because it's everywhere and they can't control it. I'm like, all right, cool, that's good for me, but because it's
I use it every day.
classified as a noxious weed, I can't sell it.
Right.
But
But they do sell it.
yeah, I don't know what the legality of it is, but yeah.
I mean, like I said, I buy it and drink it in tea and tinctures and stuff like that. I go to the apothecary and buy it. That's how I source a lot of my stuff. It's from like tea places or apothecaries and just buy it in bulk. A big thing for me, I was just talking to this about my buddy yesterday. Like, I make a lot of tinctures, but I like to encourage people to make it on their own. And if they don't want to make it on their own, they can come buy it from me. Like, if it's too much time and effort or knowledge and all that, then just let me do it. But it's really easy to do it on your own. Like, I could lie to you and say it's really hard and it costs a lot of money and you have to be really smart, but none of that's true. It's just like mycology. It's like just a matter of learning.
You can slightly improve the quality of the finished product by buying some more expensive equipment, but it's absolutely not necessary.
But when it comes to plants, you're foraging, so you're not spending money other than just like whatever gas that you're going to forage or lunch for going to forage that day.
Yeah, gas miles.
Yeah.
Solvent.
Are you? I'm vaping. It's cannabis. Normally I try not to do it during the show, but we were running for like 2 hours, so I figured I would hit it a little bit. It's actually it says THC. It's a THC vape, but it looks just like a geek bar, so it's like meant to like look like that.
Yeah,
just reminding me I saw a huge herd of elk on the way home. At least 60 of them right along the road. Yeah, whenever I hiked to the top of that mountain the other day, right across the street from where we stay at, and I saw a bunch of elk droppings. I'm like, yeah, they got to be up here because I saw them out in the field already. Geek bar, my kind of vape HB. No, I don't use nicotine. I do use nicotine occasionally. Like occasionally, I like smoke a cigarette or a cigar or like do a velo pouch or something. But that's like once very rarely. I haven't used nicotine in months, like 4 or 5 months probably.
This is new to me. Did you know that mullein seeds will kill fish?
Mullein seeds will kill fish.
I did not know that.
I feel like I've heard something about this before, that people use them as like to get rid of invasive species and ponds and stuff like that, but I'm not sure. I'd have to look into that.
What a small world, though. Lynette's boyfriend.
Write that down.
He was born in the town that my grandfather used to live in, and I used to work in Massachusetts. Out of all the people,
wow, small world, dude.
Yeah, and it is a big town. Like there's a lot of people live there. I would call it a city compared to where I live now. Yeah.
All right, guys. You want to wrap this show up? We go over almost 2 hours.
Let's go play some Minecraft.
Let's go play some Minecraft, guys. It's gonna be fucking nerds for a little while.
Let's go build something.
Appreciate you guys joining us. Sometimes these long episodes are really cool to get to go after and hang out with you guys for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up about the mullein seeds and see what I can figure out on that.
Me too.
Check out the comments here. Nicotine is medicinal. It's all the approved chemicals. That's the problem with tobacco, 100%. I couldn't agree with that more. In low doses, it's actually been proven to help things like Alzheimer's and stuff like that.
Native Americans
it's definitely just
COVID. Nicotine's been help with that long COVID and COVID effects and stuff.
Interesting.
So yeah,
that's what
exactly right, man.
Because I quit smoking for years, and then I read that, and I was having some issues, and the doctor said it might have been long COVID or something. So yeah, I'll give it a try. And
I mean, the bad thing about the vapes is that you can suck in so much nicotine, but the good thing about them is you can also control the amount of nicotine. You can get like a really light nicotine. But again, I don't use nicotine currently. Yeah, something that I don't try to use. It's just like alcohol. Like I do drink alcohol, but very rarely. It's like once in a blue moon kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the same thing with alcohol. Alcohol is like medicinal benefits and stress benefits. Let's be real, but it's the dependency and the also the stupid like high levels of alcohol.
Hmm.
But yeah, I couldn't agree more, man. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. My
Yes.
10-year-old just got an Oculus VR for his birthday. Okay. Yeah, dude. I've heard it was really cool. My buddy got one not long ago, a couple months ago, actually. He's been trying it out. I can imagine Minecraft in VR would be really cool. Actually, I was joking about my buddy about that the other day. That would be really cool to do.
It
I mean, it
used to
probably
be
runs really
built
well.
in the early Minecraft versions. It was built in. It was like a separate mode, like creative mode.
Oh, cool.
You could put it in the VR mode. It never
Cool.
really worked that well, and they got rid of it. But yeah, it was a thing.
Cool. Sick. If you guys want to join us over there on the Minecraft thing, it's part of the $5 a month benefit that we have for like movie night Mondays and stuff like that. So yeah, guys, sign up on our website, visitjourneychurch.org, and we'll see you tomorrow for Riffing with HP. Have a good rest of your night. Hey, remember to practice our third agreement. Don't make assumptions. Don't take things personally, especially like Nerdy was saying during Valentine's Day. So it's a good idea. Good time to practice. Bye, everyone. Have a great night. See you guys later.
Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's